They say empires don't fall from the outside, they rot from within. The Don had survived rival families. He had survived assassins. He had survived wars that turned streets into graveyards. But what he never saw coming was the man sitting closest to him. Because while the city feared the Don, someone inside his own family had already started talking. How the empire began to crack. By the time episode 3 begins, the crime family is unstoppable. Control of ports, construction contracts, nightclubs, unions, shipping, casinos, judges who returned calls, politicians who owed favors. The Don ruled quietly now. No violence. No noise. Just money. But peace creates something dangerous in criminal empires. Complacency. The Don trusted his inner circle more than ever, and that trust would cost him everything. His name never made headlines. No flashy suits. No public role. No reputation on the street. Let's call him Marco. Marco handled logistics, routes, schedules, safe houses. He knew everything, and said almost nothing. The Don liked him for that. Quiet men live longer, the Don once said. But quiet men also listen, and Marco had been listening for years. It started small. A shipment seized. A raid that came too fast. An arrest that felt too precise. The Don brushed it off. Bad luck. A mistake. A coincidence. But his consigliera wasn't convinced. Someone knew details only the family should know. Meeting times. Car descriptions. Names never written down. Someone was leaking blood from the inside. What the Don didn't know was that Marco had a problem. Years earlier, before the empire rose, Marco had made a mistake, a minor crime, one arrest, one file that never disappeared. Federal agents remembered him, and when they came, they didn't threaten him with prison. They showed him photos. His wife, his son, his daughter walking home from school. They offered him two choices: talk, or watch his family disappear. Marco didn't answer that day. But fear had already chosen for him. By day, Marco sat at the Don's table. By night, he sat in parked cars with the engine running. He didn't give everything at once, just enough. A meeting date, a warehouse location, a name already suspected. The agents were patient. They didn't want arrests. They wanted the Don, and Marco was the key. The Don began changing routines. Meetings moved, phones destroyed. Men tested with false information. He fed lies into the family, watching to see which ones came back to haunt him. One lie led to a raid. Another led to an arrest. The circle tightened. The Don knew now. There was a traitor, and he was very close. One night, Marco found an envelope on his doorstep. No name, no return address. Inside was a single photograph. Him getting into a federal car, on the back. For words, we know who you are. Marco's hands shook. The Don wasn't stupid. He was hunting, and when the Don hunted, someone always disappeared. The next morning, the Don called a mandatory family meeting. All capos, all lieutenants, no excuses. Marco sat at the table, silent as always. The Don stood, looked around the room, and smiled. Before we begin, he said, there's something I need to address. He reached into his jacket. The room went quiet. No one breathed. Because whatever the Don was about to reveal would decide who lived and who never left that room again. If you want episode 4, where the traitor is exposed and the final takedown begins, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what happened next ended the empire forever.